Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Ielts journey with Fabi, where we talk about everything and anything Ielts. So, if you're interested in the Ielts test, this is the place for you to be. Okay, we talk about everything here. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Fabi. I'm an English teacher, and I help people prove their English level so they can work, study, live abroad. Okay. What would you like to do? Let me know in the comments. What would you like to do? Why are you here with me today? Okay, guys. So you can also tell me where you're watching me from. I love to watch where you should watch. I love to know where you guys are watching me from. And today, we are going to talk about a topic that lots of people forget. Okay. And it's something that is extremely important. And if you don't have that, okay, you are likely to fail the IELTS test, which is a personalized study plan. So just let me know in the comments, do you have a plan for your IELTS test? Yes or no? Maybe you started already. Maybe you're thinking about starting. Do you have a plan? Put it in the comments. More likely, you don't. Most people don't have a plan, okay? And I'm just going to talk about it today. Okay, guys. And again, it doesn't have to be something out of this world, okay? It can be something simple. But today, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the importance of having a plan and study plan, more specifically, personalized study plan. And of course, I'll share with you what I do with my students also. Okay. If you have any questions, pop the questions in. If I can't get to your question straight away, I'll get to it at the end. Sounds good? Okay, cool. So, um, let's talk about, first of all, okay, the importance of a personalized plan. All right. So let's talk about planning first. Um, how many of you have lots of IELTS materials? How many of you? You can say me. So you have lots and lots of IELTS materials. It's so easy nowadays, right? Um, please go me if you have on your Instagram. Okay, if you have on your Instagram a section where you have saved lots of things about the IELTS test. Do you have that? Mm-hmm. Yes or no? Let me know. Do you have that? You know, your Instagram. IELTS save. IELTS save. IELTS save. Do you have that? On YouTube, do you have a playlist, an IELTS playlist? You know how we on YouTube we see a video that we like and we can save it and put it in a special playlist. Do you have that? Mhm. Do you have materials on your computer? Do you have that? Of course you do. If you're studying for the IELTS test, if you're thinking about studying for the IELTS test, you probably do. What are you going to do with all of that? Do you have a plan? Do you? That's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay. So we have all of these things, but we don't know what to do with it. We need a plan. Okay. So when it comes to the IELTS test, what is a plan? A plan is, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? And how do I need to do it? And I bet you don't have that. You just have a pile of stuff that you don't know what to do with. Okay. And even if you have the video saved on YouTube, all right, even if you have that, what are you doing with it? Are you watching it? And the main problem with that would also be that you might have some conflicting information. Okay. So that's another thing, too. Okay. So when you have a plan is important because it tells you what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Okay. This week, I started helping a new student. Okay. And he said to me, I've been thinking about the IELTS test for 2 months and I did not know what to do. And then I met a friend and she told me about you. And I texted you straight away because I really don't know what to do. I just need someone to tell me what to do. Ta-da. Okay. And then what do? We made a plan. Okay, so now he knows where he's going. Okay, guys. So that's the importance of the plan. But with the IELTS test, okay, if you really, really want to succeed, sometimes the plan is not enough. Oh, come on, Fabi, you've been talking about the plan for the past 5 minutes or 6 minutes. And sorry, I've been talking about the plan, and now you tell me that it's not just the plan, there's more. Yes, there's more, but it's connected to the plan. What people usually need is a personalized plan, not just a plan. When, where, how, what. Now, you need a personalized plan. Why? Because people are different. People are different. Again, this week, I always come across, guys, I'm always talking to people, to new students. If you contact me on Instagram, we'll have a chat. And this week, I spoke to another student and she took 4 tests. Okay, 4 tests. And she said, I did that course and I did this course, but I still don't know what to do. And then I sat down with her and then we talked about it. And now she has a plan. And she said, wow, I've been doing this for a year now. And this is the first time I know what to do. And then she actually said, this is quite personalized. And I said, yes, because you need something that is personalized. And that's something that is hard to get nowadays. Okay. But it's something that I believe is the key to your success. First, you get a plan. And the most important thing is for this plan to be personalized. Because people are different. And then I will tell you the question I always get from people, from my students, is how long is it going to take me to achieve my score? It depends because people are different. Some people improve in 1 week, some people improve in 1 month, some people improve in 6 months. That's why you need something that is personalized. People are going to do the test in different days. People need different scores. So if I have something to give you that is just for a 7, just for a 6, just for people who are going to do the test in 2 months, maybe you don't fit this box. Okay. So you have to look for a plan. You have to have a plan. And then, most importantly, a personalized plan because people are different. Okay. So after telling you all of this, I'm just going to share with you what I do in my course with my students. Okay, I'm just going to share a little bit just to give you an idea because I'm talking about it and then, sorry, I'm talking about it and then you might not know what I'm talking about. Okay, so in my course, IELTS with Fabi, if you have been with me for a while, you probably know about my course. Okay, so in my course, IELTS with Fabi, I have something that I call the OMT, Once Method Tracker. What is the Once Method? The Once Method is the method that I created to help people do the IELTS test only once. Okay, so that's the method I created, the once method. Okay, so the OMT is the once method tracker. What is a tracker? A tracker is something that you put all the information and you track. You track. So when you're doing the IELTS test, what do you think you're going to be tracking? You can put it in the comments. What are you going to track? You are going to track your scores. Mhm. So with my once method tracker, OMT, students track their score. Okay. And again, what happens often too is if someone asks for my help and I start helping these people, the first thing I ask them is results. Oh, you've done the LSAS before. Where are your results? And sometimes they can't find it. And then I ask them, okay, have you been practicing? Yes. Where are your results? And they can't find it. How are you going to check your progress if you don't know your progress? How? How are we going to do that? That's why in my course, we have the once method tracker or the OMT. If my students tell me, Fabi, I did a reading and it wasn't very good, do you know what I do? I ask them to send me the link for their OMT. Because if they're following my method, everything is there. All the information is there. I know which test they did, when they did it, the score they got in each part, what was easy, I know everything. And as a teacher, when I look at that information, I know exactly what I need to tell them so they can improve. How crazy is that? Okay. And this is a tracker, but this is also a study plan because they are doing things and they are putting the information there. And when they look at it, they know exactly what they have to do. Okay, so that's how I work with my students because, as you know, my course is online. I'm not with them every day. I'm not. But when I have that, I feel like I am with them all the time. And they have my WhatsApp. They have my WhatsApp. They can text me anytime. So they can just tell me, hey, Fabi, I didn't do well here. And then I asked them. The first question I asked them is, did you complete the OMT? They said, yes. And then as soon as you're finished, send it to me and I'll have a look. And I can reply to you and I can tell you my opinion about your progress. Okay? So, guys, that's the importance of the study plan, of having a study plan, being able to track what you're doing. Because remember, how do you know what you're going to improve if you don't know what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, guys, especially if you are in the beginning of your journey, and if you're doing it alone, especially if you decided to do your IELTS journey alone, okay, what happens is you look at, for example, you might look at, if you have an OMT, you look at it, you don't know what's there. Even if you take some notes, you don't know what to do with it. But as an IELTS expert, I know exactly what you need to do. And that's what I tell my students. I go ahead and I check what they're doing wrong and I tell them. I check what they're doing right and I tell them. Because sometimes they can't see it. And especially with the IELTS, some people get really nervous and they look at information and they can't quite read it and they don't understand. So they need me to help them. And one thing that I'm very, very happy about is once I start doing that with my students, I tell them this and that. something magical happens. After a while, they can do this by themselves. And then basically, instead of doing a test, completing the OMT, our study plan, completing it and sending to me and say, Fabi, I didn't do well. What do I do? And I tell them what starts happening is they do a practice test, they complete the OMT, and then they send me a voice message saying, Hey, Fabi, I did the test. I didn't do well here, and I know why. And I know what I have to do to improve. Ta da! This is magical. And this happens quite often. They start to notice what they're doing wrong. Okay. And then they can go on their journey and they come to me to check information. All right. So that's the power of a study plan. And not just a study plan, a personalized study plan. Okay. And just another example of a study plan, also in my course, my students have access to a speed tracker. So they have another study plan where I have all the dates, what they should be doing if they want to go slow, if they want to go fast, where everything is, what they have to watch in the course. They don't have to think about it, they just do it. So when you have a plan, personalized, you improve much faster and you are way more likely to achieve your score when you have something like that. All right, guys, because you're just guessing. Like I said before, oh, I'm going to study for the IELTS test. And a lot of people think that being here on YouTube watching video is studying. It's not studying. Again, I'm going to tell you one more time. If you watch this video, it's not studying for the IELTS test. Guys, this is not studying. This is collecting information so you can make your decisions about the IELTS test in the future. This is not studying, unfortunately. I know you wish it was, but it's not. Okay, this is not studying. Watching videos of strategies. Eh, yeah, maybe. Are you applying the strategies? Are you checking if the strategies work for you? Studying is applying your strategies. That's what it is. Okay, it's not just watching videos. So if you don't have a plan, especially a plan devised by someone who's an expert, it's going to take you way, way longer to achieve your score. And again, guys, I don't want my students spending money on the IELTS test. I really don't. I want you guys to do the IELTS test only once. And it's funny because, again, this week I met someone new, a new student. Every week there's someone new get in touch with me. And usually people come through recommendation because I help one person, the person tells the other person, word of mouth basically, right? And then I was talking to this person who's never done the test, who want to know more about the test. And then she said, oh, when do you think I'll be able to do the test? And I said to her, don't do the test before talking to me. And she said, oh, yeah. My friend who recommended you said, only do the test when Fabi say you're ready. Because I don't want you guys spending money. And how do I know you're ready? I have everything I need to know when you're ready. Because you have to complete all of the study plan. The OMT have to complete everything. So I know exactly where you are. Okay. I don't know if you know, but in my course, I give my students personalized writing feedback. I do, because I need to know where they are. If I don't know where they are, how are they going to do the test? Also, I give my students personalized speaking practice too, because I need to know where they are in their speaking. So that's it. Okay, guys. So if you don't have those things, you will not be able to achieve your score. Or even if you try, it might take you a very long time to achieve. All right. Very, very long time to achieve. Make sense? Guys, pop questions in if you have any questions. Okay. Let me check my notes here. We talked about that. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm talking about today the importance of a study plan when you are in your IELTS journey. Okay, so I'm talking about the importance of the plan and most importantly, a personalized plan. Okay, a plan that suits you. Okay, so the most important thing about the plan is to know where, what, and when you have to do something. All right, what do I have to do today? So, what do I have to do this? When do I have to do it? How do I have to do it? And then after you've done all of this, what do you get? You get your results. Okay. And results are key. Results are key. You have to know where you are. Why? Why is it so important to know where you are? Because then we can compare to where you want to be, where you are now, where you want to go. Okay. And when we know where we are and where we want to be, and we have details about the progress, what happens, it's really easy to make adjustments. And why are adjustments so important? They are important because when we make adjustments, that's when we improve. People without a study plan find it really, really hard to improve because they don't know where they are, they don't know what they're doing. Guys, imagine that you need a kind of a journal or a diary. IELTS test diary, IELTS test journal. Today I did this on the IELTS test and I got this score. That's basically it. That's basically it. And nowadays, people are doing things so fast that they forget to stop, take notes, or for that matter, take notes and analyze things because we're doing things so fast. You want the result, you want the result. Not yet. Step back, slow down, take notes, analyze, and you'll be able to make adjustments. Because if you do everything the same way all the time, you always get the same results. And again, that's why with my students, I don't work with quantity, I work with quality. Because if you do a listening test at 4 p.m. and get a 5, if you decide to do another test at 5 p.m., you're probably going to get a 5 again. If you do another one, because you're not taking the time to analyze what you're doing. You're just focusing on quantity, not quality. Okay, so when you have a study plan, my students, they can't do another test if they don't complete the OMT. And the first time they complete the OMT, oh my God, it might take them 20 minutes. But are you going to do it? They have to do it. Because if they don't do it, it's hard for me to help them. They know that. If they have a problem, the first question I ask is, did you complete it? And they go, no. And I said, okay, so I can help you. Have to complete it. After you complete it, you send it to me. Or if they don't complete it properly, I can't help them. Okay, so it's all about taking the time to complete everything. You have a study plan and you follow it. And again, some people, what they do sometimes, they have a beautiful plan, but they don't follow it. Same thing with writing. I keep telling my students, you have to make a plan before you write. They go, all right, okay. And then they make a plan, but they don't follow it. Or like you pay for a course and maybe the course has a plan like my course and you don't use it. What's the point? What is the point? Okay, guys. So the main thing is we need a plan. Okay. Even better if it's personalized. We need a plan that is personalized. And then we need someone to keep checking it with us. We need it. Otherwise, you don't know what you have to do to improve. Okay. And again, it comes down to organization. If you have been with me for a while, you know that a part of my ikigai for the IELTS test is organization. Okay, 100% organization. We need to be organized. We need to know where things are. We need to know because that saves time. Okay, I don't know if you are a messy person or if you are an organized person. I'm quite organized. I'm very, very organized. Okay, if you ask me, Fabi, do you have wrapping paper? You know, the paper you use to wrap gifts, wrapping paper. I'm going to say, yes, I do. And then they'll ask me, where is it? I know exactly where it is. If you're in my house, I can call you on the phone and I tell you where it is. So it would take the person 1 minute to find it. But you know, when you want something, you know you have it, but you don't know where it is. It will take you longer finding it than to buy a new one. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The IELTS test is the same. How many times I'm helping students and I say, okay, so tell me the the scores you got in the last 3 reading tests. And they go, oh yeah, I got a 7 and then I got a 6. Oh my God, your score went down. Okay, which test did you do? Which one was the one you got the 7? Which one was the one you got the 6? They go, I don't remember. How am I going to be able to help them if they don't know the test that they did? If you have a study plan, you know what you have to do. And it's very, 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 very easy to find. So organization goes into the plan. When you have a plan, you are more organized. What happens when you're more organized? You save time and less stress. Having to study for the IELTS test is stressful enough for some people. I think it's fun. And I try to help my students make it fun. Okay? But sometimes it can be a little bit stressful. Okay, so if you have that, if you have the study plan, what's going to happen? You're going to be more organized. If you're more organized, just think about an organized house. You can find everything very easily, and it's actually even more pleasant. Now, think about a disorganized house or just a room. How does it feel if you're cramped and don't know where things are? It takes you forever. You know, like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You don't want that in your IELTS journey. Not at all. Not at all, guys. Not at all. Okay. All right. Any questions for me? Oh my God, so much information for you. Any questions for me? Today, we're talking about the importance of a study plan and the importance of a personalized study plan. So you know exactly where you are, exactly what you have to do. Okay. And I shared a little bit about my course, what I do with my students with the OMT. So everything they do goes into the OMT because they need to know where they are. And I need to know where they are. They need to know and I need to know. We both need to know. They need to know because they have to check their scores and check how close they are to their goals. And I need to know because if I don't know where they are, it's really hard for me to help them. Okay, it's a very, very effective way of doing this. Okay, and if you don't have a study plan, it might take you longer to get there because you don't know where you are. And also, you might be lacking organization when it comes to your IELTS journey. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go now, but I'll be back next week. Ooh, next week will be special show. Yeah, I'm gonna see you guys on Tuesday. It's gonna be my birthday on Tuesday. Maybe we're gonna do a special one because it's my birthday. But don't worry, I will be with you even on my birthday. All right, guys. So so I will see you, okay, next Tuesday. And if you have any questions, the best way to reach me is through Instagram. Just go Fabi underscore English on Instagram and you can DM me, okay? And I will have a chat with you there. All right, see you next time. Bye.